What is good, my people, my peeps? So I thought I'd stop in today really quick to talk about Twitch. Some of you guys may not know about Twitch or know who Twitch is, Twitch boss. Um, I'm not absolutely familiar with him, but I do recall him on the Ellen show, right? I ain't gonna mess up her last name. I ain't gonna even do it. But I do recall her on the Ellen show via suicide today. It's really quick about that very touchy subject of suicide and this gentleman. Now I know Twitch, not personally. That's just a figure of speech. But I know that he started on Ellen's show as her DJ, and then was there several years, and executive producer of Ellen's show, talk show. And then from there, then he became a co-host. So he would alternate with Ellen doing for her show. And sadly, today the reports came out that he took his life. And I just want to talk about that regarding suicide. And it's odd that I had heard because I was gonna start today getting and I wish she became famous anyway. And she was given an interview, and the host of the show was talking about how she has money. So stopped her dead in her tracks. Fantasia stopped her dead in her tracks and said, "Wait a minute, you don't know that." Fantasia said, "You don't know that. You probably got more money than I do." Fantasia told the host, "You all see these stars. Hello, hello. Greetings from Los Angeles, California. California is in the building. Yes, hello, greetings. Swing on through. We're gonna go have a conversation real quick. And I always say real quick, so y'all know what that means. It might be a little long. Uh Fantasia stopped the host in her tracks and told her, you don't know if I got a lot of money. Fantasia said, matter of fact, I had to start over twice. If anybody know about starting over, that's not an E, that's a TKO. Think I better let it go. With love, starting over, looks like another love TKO, another knockout. You done got smooth knocked out. Think I better let it go. That's the hardest thing to do. Starting all over again. Fantasia said she had to start all over twice. So she didn't want basically. What's up? What's up, LPD? In the building. Fantasia didn't want the host, and it seemed like they were at a radio station. Fantasia did not want the host to hype her up. Her fame, her fortune. Because first of all, Fantasia let her know, you don't know my fortune. You don't know how much money I have. You might got more money than me. Let me tell you something, people. I'm gonna tell you two sides of this thing here. I want to go. I was gonna go out to the park and sit, but I don't know. It might be a little too chilly to walk outside. You don't know people's circumstances. And we know that as chosen ones, as targeted individuals going through life, going through everything that we go through. And I tell y'all, I be on my grind, my hustle, both. and still grinding and just will never stop. Even though I go through this program and I have to put up with knuckleheads that want to talk to you crazy at your work site, want to just do the most. Do the most, But where they know all about you, all about your business, and want to stay in your business. Fantasia said, you don't know that, and I had to start all over again twice. I had to start all over again twice. And Fantasia also made it plain. She said, "You look at these celebrities. You look at these celebrities. You look at these people who are in the limelight or have platforms, and half the time they don't have what you think they have. And we all should know that by now, but a lot of us don't. Sometimes people don't have what you think they have. Especially, it is so easy to pretend here on these social media streets that you have what you have. Some of you guys probably have seen some of the commercials when you're on YouTube, scrolling through, and some of them commercials they kind of slacked off a little bit because people know it was a hustle, it was a con. Those people. Let me show you how you can live in this house, and let me show you how you can drive this car. And then dripping with gold and all that, and half the time all that stuff was rented, even with what's his name, 50 Cent. He claimed bankruptcy twice. The cars that were in some of his videos, some of the houses in his videos, not houses, excuse me, mansions that he showed, he had finally admitted that they were rented, they weren't his. It's always been a facade, fake, not real, And so some of these people that make it up to these high levels don't always have what you think they have, okay? And sometimes they may have the money, they may do well with their money and don't have the happiness within. You know what I'm saying? Miserable within. You don't know what's going on within. Tears of a Clown, Smokey Robinson's song. Make you laugh, think they're the funniest thing on the face of the earth. And the next thing you hear, years later, they commit suicide. What was that comedian's name? Robert Williams, I think that was his name. Mork and Minnie, y'all know about that. That's back to day. But he made other Mrs. Doubtfire. Y'all probably know him from there. Mrs. Doubtfire, the guy that played Mrs. Doubtfire, he was a comedian, very funny guy. He did stand-up acts that helped feed the over in Africa. What was the stand-up thing with him and Whoopi Goldberg? It was comedy something to feed the nations or something like that. So it was Robert Williams. Thank you. Yeah, so very funny young man, and committed suicide. Can make everybody laugh, but you just don't know what was going on inside of him, right? And I can't say if he had money. You don't know people's financial situations, right? He could have had money, could not have. He could have been struggling. We just never will know. But I can tell you a lot of that is psychological. It's in the mind as well. For you all know that I have stated many a times before that my sister-in-law committed suicide. It's been about 3 years now. So trust me, I know the devastation. I know the devastation that suicide can have on a family. Because, see, with my family, she had young kids. Young. Not in high school. Not young kids. And to leave that stigma that trauma behind is great. So word just came out today that Twitch, Ellen DeGeneres, I got it, her name, host of a talk show. Her talk show has ended now, but she had a long run for a talk show. Her DJ, Twitch, who rose through the ranks and became an executive producer on her show, and then eventually when the show started, going downhill, he had became a co-host on her show, committed suicide. Handsome young man. He was 40 years old. And I say young because what people, what young people fail to realize how that as you get older, we know time don't exist. That's what old folks say. That's what I'm saying. Time, it really doesn't. I'm just trying to lighten the mood. Time doesn't exist because we know we up there. We up there, right? But it's true. Time goes by very fast. So 40 years old is actually not old, 40 years old is not old at all. I had to bless this real quick and see what was popping over here in this corner. Is not old at all. I mean, especially once you hit your 30s, it's a wrap. That time gonna go like this: boom, 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 boom. But what I want to say to all of you today, as chosen ones, as targeted individuals, and I don't know. I have had people come on this live, like earlier this morning I did a live, like Junior came on and apologized, saying he's going through things. And on here, on these channels, sometimes we don't know if they're perps, bots, just to talk about negativity all the time. But sometimes people are going through these certain issues in life. But we have to realize that life is a continuum. It's going to have ups and downs. Always. Always. You can never expect life, your journey here, to always be smooth sailing, because you won't learn from that. To stay the same. To stay the same means death. Right? If you think that everything should remain the same, be good all the time, stagnancy means death. In life, you can't have a stagnant life, just like you can't have stagnant water. Water constantly is moving over rocks, going down hills, valleys, freezing, unthawing, moving. Trees, grass, grow, die down, come back. So that's the same with life. You're never always going to have a smooth ride. But how you navigate life is learning when you've had those bumpy rides, the real rough times, learning how to navigate through those times. So it might come back around. But I guarantee if you paid attention to what was going on at that particular time, and then you made it through that rough patch, and you in a different season of life, and it's uphill, it's feeling good, everything's copacetic, lovely. But always remember, you're going to have to come back down, right? But when you come down and you've had it rough before. You may have been in the hood, came out, but you remember your mama used to fry them bologna sandwiches, got all the ring around the edge, cut that bad boy open, got a little slit, right? Got your little white bread, because back in the day, don't put in no comments about no white and healthy bread. I'm talking real. Back in the day, it was just white bread, okay? Some thin white bread. I think it was rainbow bread. I remember that bread had some little rain like dots on it. Put that little fried up bologna sandwich, and you went to town, right? Sandwich was good. That sandwich was good. A scrambled egg sandwich. The sandwich was good. Now that's as hood as I can get to y'all. I mean, that might not be hood to y'all, but that, and I can't say I grew up in the hood. I ain't going to even front. But, we had our rough times coming up in life. Some people just straight had nothing. But as children, they've learned how to maneuver, or they watched their parents and took on lessons. So I tell you about being in the hood, having those bologna and jelly sandwiches, because once you come out and you're going up, you're moving on up, and then when that crash comes again, like what's getting ready to happen, like people that have never had hard times before will not know how to maneuver, right? But for you, you'll remember. Let me go on, make it on over to the Dollar Tree. $1.25. They got some bologna and some bread, and know how to fry up your bologna and a bologna sandwich, right? Or a scrambled egg sandwich, or whatever you need to do. Those are survival skills, right? That helps you to know I can still make it out here. With less, yeah. With less, ain't no shame in my game. Ain't no shame in my game. I'm telling you, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. I can still make it. What was Beyonce? So I'm a survivor. I'm not going to give up. That's what we are. That's what you have to be. I'm a survivor. Because nobody cares. Let me say this again. Nobody cares about you when you ain't got no money, when you ain't got nothing that they can take from, or they can rub against, or they can shine off of, get a little reflection of your light, right? Nobody. That's a survival skill too. Pay attention to who is with you, who's around you, who can help you, who did you reach out to during those hard times? Who left? Who stayed true? Because see, when you go through your seasons of change, and maybe up there on the top, oh, that's where you're going to have folks flocking to you. Oh, they're going to come out the woodworks just to stand beside you and get a little piece of your shine. But remember this. The ones, and I'm not saying you can show enough have people around you. Get that. We got to get that out of our mindset. People can be around you. Associates, you don't have to call them your friends, your besties. You can socialize. You best believe, though, and when you're in your seasons of good and plentiful, abundance, doesn't mean that you might not have heart issues. And I'm not talking about a heart attack. I'm talking about hurts and pains of the heart from relationships, from things that are going on, things that are plaguing your mind, issues. And you're in the good times. And you may want to talk to maybe one, two of your people that you have around you. Pay attention to how those people act. Do they want to hear it? Are they giving you any advice that may be relevant, that may aid in you making it through, although you're at the top? Or are they just saying, man, okay, man, oh, you got something to talk about? Okay, meet me at the club. Meet you at the club? Meet you at the club? Yeah, you need to get out the house, man. Come on, get out the house. Meet me at the club. We go get some drinks. Oh, why don't you come meet me at the coffee shop? Come meet me at the library so we can talk. I needed to be quiet. You need a confidant. I need somebody to talk to bounce off my thoughts, my ideas, my emotions that I'm going through. The club ain't got that kind of environment. The club is boom, 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 boom. Yeah, man. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I have an issue. Boom, boom. Man, get another drink. Hey, bring those drinks over. Because he don't want to hear it. So even if you're at the top, you're going to have issues maybe in different forms. Maybe it might not be monetary. You might have the money. You just might have a heart issue or a brain, but the heart and the mind are one and the same. But you're at the top. I just wanted to come to you all really quick and just talk about whether you're at the top or whether you're at the bottom. Life is movement. It's about movement. It's about seasons changing. And it's about how you cope with these things. And that's why, as chosen ones, as targeted individuals, I want us to get out the mind frame of everybody's a perk. Everybody's watching me. It's not everybody. Because if you think like that, you might wind up taking your own life, like my sister-in-law did. Because that kind of thinking can truly put you in a closed box that's constantly closing in on you. You are not put on this earth alone, by yourself. So there has always been people around. Isolation is not always the best solution for what you go through. Isolation may be a part of your journey of growth, for you may need to fall back, but you cannot stay in your cave forever. For that can make you go crazy as well. See, back in the day, they called those hermits, people who isolated themselves off in canyons and wilderness. Then those type of people started to go crazy. Because man is not meant to be alone. That statement is not about just man, the male gender. Man, the female mate, is not meant to be alone as well. There was a jail, a very famous jail in California. Who's from California? Let's see somebody. Sergio's from California. If Sergio, are you on here? You should know this jail I'm getting ready to talk about. Oh, you like my shades? Thank you very much. Thank you. The wise words. That's what's up. There was a jail. Now it's a tourist. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So there's a jail in San Francisco, California. Do you know what jail I'm talking about? It sits on the water, Sergio. As I talk, if you know it, put it in the chat. There was a jail. It's in San Francisco, California. It sits on the water. They put this jail in the middle of the water to make it very difficult for inmates to escape from. This jail was very abusive to its inmates. This jail almost used its inmates to study different psychological trainings and tests on their inmates. Well, you see, this jail would put inmates into their jail cells, dark, dingy, dank, because remember, it's surrounded by water, in isolation. For almost years at a time. It's called San Francisco Jail. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, well, let me give you the name. It's called Alcatraz. It's called Alcatraz. And Alcatraz is very famous. To this day, you can get on a boat, and it will take you out to the jail and do a tour of Alcatraz. Alcatraz used its inmates as guinea pigs. And one of their testings that they did, in Alcatraz was isolation. Isolation of their inmates. Keeping their inmates separated for years at a time in dungeons where they just slid the food, if they fed them at all, under the door. No communication, no human interaction. It made these inmates go crazy. So I bring up Alcatraz to you today as a point in my statement to let you know that isolation is good for a short period of time, to gather yourself up, to recoup, reboot. But long periods of isolation is not good for you. That's why you have to get out the house. Go be amongst people. Go to the park. Hey, just be amongst people. Like these older white ladies sitting on this bench. I'm right here. I see them moving. I see them, interacting. Go interact every now and again with people. But never talking to someone at all because you're afraid that they're a perp or a gang stalker, or feeling that you're not isolated because you are on these devices. That is a psychological game that they're playing with you. You may not go into the metaverse, but you are in AI via these devices. So you have to break away sometimes. Walk in the stores, talk to people, have small chit-chat conversations. I'm not saying you have to find a best buddy. But isolation can make you go crazy too. You should be able to reach out to someone. So I just wanted to have a quick chat with you all regarding uh, Twitch and him committing suicide. It was reported today. If you looked at his, if you go and you Google him, you look at his pictures on YouTube, young, vibrant, from the images that are displayed. We will never know, though, what was going on in here. In here. Suicide is a final option. Here, in this realm. But it's not the complete end all. Thereafter will be questioned. Your soul, remember, never dies. Energy never dies. It just transfers. But there always has to be an accountability, a record, an understanding to why you had exited the building on your own accord. Oh, thank you, Sergio. He hit the like button for me. I appreciate that. I see we are balanced and equal. We have 5 likes and 5 people viewing, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your viewership. And I'm out. And you know what? Before I get out of here, I want to say this, especially going into 2023. Y'all don't know how fast that is going to be upon us. 2023. Although we know, as Hebrews, we know that the new year is in the springtime, right? It is not in the winter. For a new life, new beginnings don't start when everything is dead. Ponder upon that. I remember when somebody told me that, I said, ancient Chinese secret. Now, never thought about it like that. Life does not begin when everything is dead. You see, you look around in wintertime, everything is dormant, sleep. The grass has gone to sleep, it's dormant. The trees have lost their summer leaves. They're brown. Now they are barren. You see the structure of the trees. They're dormant, they're asleep. Life doesn't begin in the dead of winter. 2023 is upon us. Does not mean life will begin in January when they count down and drop the ball. It'll begin in spring, yes indeed, when the flowers bloom. But nevertheless, it still is upon us. Going into 2023, wherever it may lead, I had started this platform not having any thoughts of having any enemies, any persons that I have ill will to, or wanting anyone to have any ill will towards me. And so I say to you, and I have said this out loud, that was not my intentions. That's never been my intention. And that won't be my intentions going into 2023. Will ill will stop coming your way? Will negative entities, energies surround you? No. That is light. That is the gang stalking program. That is the Mr. Smith of it all, right? I just say, when it comes to you and the knowledge you have of self, as best you can, project always positive, positive energy. For what you project out will truly eventually come back to you. And I'm out, and much, much love, you all.